Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Miss Criticizer 2021. Thank you all once again for your support. Oh my god. You know, when I came back, I was on hiatus on YouTube, and when I came back, I just said, oh my god, coming back again, reporting pageant news like the passion, the fandom, like the fact that Miss Universe is popping this year, and we're just there's so much representation this year. That's even the good part of it. We have our first hijab wearing contestant, we have our deaf contestants, somebody battling with vitiligo, we have married women with children, we have this is the ageless one. Like, it's so versatile, and I'm just glad that this is what brings us together. I want to thank you all for your subscriptions, for the love you've shown me, for all the likes, comments. Thank you so much. You guys keep me going, seriously. So let me not keep you any further. This is going to be a busy week because, as we all know, the final for Miss Universe is on Saturday. The prelims is on Thursdays. So I have to watch that and update it. And a little birdie told me that now you have to pay for it. I'm not sure, through the Miss Universe membership. So I'm just so busy. So yeah. But anyway, not to keep you any further, as you know, I usually talk about our African queens. So this video is about the voice for change. Yeah. So this is the voice for change. I'm trying to get through all the 16, or is it, yeah, the 16, 17 African delegates, their video. Unfortunately, I cannot show all due to copyright. It is going to be a challenge. I would have shown, and then you could just see my facial expression reacting to it. But it's okay. I'll put like a snippet of the video, and then I will basically try to explain what was said in the video. I'm going to call out my favorites. And I'm going to call out the ones which I'm going to be really critical about it. The ones that did not do it for me. Now, this video, let me make it clear, yeah? This video is just my opinion. My opinion may not be the truth. My opinion might be different from your opinion, yeah? I'm just a criticizer. That's all I do. But at the end of the day, we grow when we're being critiqued, yeah? Don't let my opinion influence your vote. When it comes to voice for change, I see people are voting for who they want to vote regardless. It does not matter what the message is behind the video. At the end of the day, if you're a fan, you're still going to support your faith. So that should not matter, you know. Again, like I said, this is my opinion. Some people might not agree with my opinion. That's fine. Just disagree with it in a respectful way, and also in the comments. I don't want any back and forth and any depth thing. Also, let me read on the website, because I believe that this is a non-profit organization in partnership with Miss Universe organization. And of course, there's a prize involved in this. You have to vote for your favorite to win the voice of change. I believe that based on that, they will get more support, more help, basically involvement from this organization to support your cause, which is a very good thing. Miss Eritrea, which, to be honest, I'm seeing that she's actually in the leaderboard of this Voice for Change video, and I understand why. I did a video regarding this previously. She's talking about two things that are dear to her heart, two things that, to be honest, it happened to her family members. But she's, for example, her mom that passed away because of breast cancer, and then we also have her younger sister who is special needs and who has autism. And even the way she speaks in this video, very calm, very soft. It's very emotional. So, you know, in regards to her mother one, I can relate to it. You know, like, same thing happened to my mom. I lost my mom due to leukemia. You know, it's painful, but that's life. What can you do? And then all these stories are personal to her. So I'm just going to basically say what she said, specifically her younger sister. I love that she's focusing on that, because there are many people that are going through what her younger sister. So the story is, you know, the need for greater inclusivity and understanding in both education and society at large. In her case, they've moved to the US, you know, with hopes to improve her sisters' growth, because it's not all countries that have these type of facilities catered to these young kids with special needs or that have learning disabilities. We should find solutions to make things easy for them. But it seems like, I don't know, based on what I got, there's little improvement. You would think, oh, the US is great, they will do it. Or unless maybe, again, it all boils down to the finances. You know, in America, everything is possible if you have money. But this should be something that should be catered to everybody. It does not matter what their class is or whatever their social class is. So she provided the stats that was provided by UNICEF. It seems like people with disabilities, they were still placed in segregated environments. They could not be included with everybody in the class. For example, her younger sister was placed in special settings, and she felt the need to do something about this issue. So of course, she's an assistant teacher in a Montessori school, and she's very, very detailed in this video. She said that she used certain methods to make things easier for her younger sister to learn. You know, basically combining colors and other elements. And she said those tactics that she used, it actually helped her younger sister. She saw an improvement. But then the issue is she started to question herself, why is it this way? And so since she couldn't figure that question, why to do it, she could not maintain the consistency. It was a challenge for her to maintain that consistency and move forward with that. So then there's where she took it upon herself to be a neuroscience student, because that's how she can see how the brain works. Again, she did this with a purpose. You know, her younger sister inspired her to even study that so that she can maintain the technique. And so hence why now she's improved, she's able to teach the children that have these similar issues. So even her thing is that this does not only stop at education. This also happens in workplaces. You have people who have disabilities that in their working environment, they get fired in a very short time, and that's only due to a very minor mistake. It seems like most companies, they don't have the patience. They're like, listen, I don't have time to be teaching you how to do this, to do that. It's a very brutal working environment for people who have disabilities. She wants to make life a better place for people with special needs and learning disabilities, which is a very good thing. And I'm glad that, like she said, her younger sister inspired her to do that. I think she's a very inspirational person. I really loved her initiative. Same from the first video. I understand why she's even in the leading board. Hers is one of my favorite. She's really doing very well, because this is somebody who has taken the initiative to even do it. It's not the usual simple, like, oh, okay, let me just get into this charity, let me do that and all that. But this is somebody who wants to make an impact, somebody who wants to make a change.
Hello, universe. I am Sakiles Vususaduli, Miss Universe Zimbabwe 2024. At the age of 12, I lost my parents in a tragic accident that shattered my world. Suddenly, I became an orphan, thrust into an uncertain future filled with fear and uncertainty. As I grew older, the loss of my parents fueled a passion within me to help others facing similar challenges.
So next up we have is Miss Zimbabwe. And I kind of knew her advocacy beforehand. In her case, she's an orphan. She lost both of her parents. So from what I gathered in the past, I think her charity is very, very broad. So she basically helps other orphaned children that are disadvantaged, specifically in financial issues. They don't have anybody to take care of them, and then empower them through education. So assisting with education, and then also with vocational skills, mentoring and all that. That's what I've gathered. But this one specifically is very, very geared towards healthcare. Mainly universal healthcare. Now, what they've wrote here is very, very long, but to make a long story short, she wants to make healthcare very accessible, It should not just be a luxury, it's a necessity. To be honest, this is a general consensus, which I completely agree with. You know, she said even just to treat basic issues like, you know, even if you have a minor infection, this should be prioritized so that it does not get escalated. You know, we don't have to make everything so difficult. You know, things that can escalate to life-threatening emergencies like heart attack, strokes, you name it, you know. And so these are things that she herself has experienced, and basically the burden of the family, you know, being marginalized. So the way she wants to transform it is that she partnered up with an ambulance service to take first aid classes, which is very, very good, because we all need these things could be avoided. And in her case, which equipped her with the knowledge about emergency response protocols. So yeah, and they've also launched community awareness campaign to educate residents how to respond in cases of emergency. To make a long story short, her advocacy is mainly on low income households when it comes to the healthcare issues, basic healthcare issues, and things that could be avoided, especially emergency things. So she collaborates with, of course, a lot of non-profit organizations to do this. So I say, okay, that's a good cause. Yeah, it's a very, very good cause. I'm glad she's doing this. Now, this is going to be something broad. It's not going to be a one-day solution, you know, things like that. But the thing about Zimbabwe, it's not, we know that, of course, it's not extremely populated. I do think they have certain things, of course, set in place. I don't know the country very well, but yeah, I think it's good. I wish that she could have kept the focus more on the orphan part, things that because I understand this one is more broad. I would have wished it, because this is something that she went through, this is something that she can relate to. And we've had these issues very, very many times. Let's just say in general Africa. You know, it's not many countries, but there are many kids that are left orphaned, no parents. And then the kids will be left with the burden if you don't have maybe a generous family member to look after. If you find a very loving family member that takes over, you're lucky. But unfortunately, there are some cases where you're not their child. They don't give a damn about you. They maltreat you. Hey, they maltreat you. If you hear the stories that I've heard, and then sometimes the kids, they run away from home and then they end up in the streets, and then issues start to happen. Then those are other things that happen. Now, I'm not saying that this is what every orphaned child goes through. There are some privileged orphan kids, you know, their parents left probably a lot for them. They have things set in place. But the ones that are disadvantaged, so I wish she kept her focus on that. But this is also a good initiative. Of course, she's doing the charity as a whole. That doesn't stop anything, but I would have wished she kept it at that.
4 million deaf people in South Africa. That is a significant 6.6%.
So now we have Miss South Africa, yeah, and like I've mentioned before in my previous video, she is the first deaf representative of Miss South Africa, who will be competing this year, yeah. And you know, she's laying out the statistics. So her cause is of course the Mia LaRue movement. In her case, she's advocating for inclusivity, specifically for deaf people. That's it. So it's mostly inclusivity, which was a good cause, because this is something that she relates to. She is in it. She's laying out the statistics. It's like almost approximately 4 million people in South Africa that are deaf. And hers was very broad, because I've mentioned it in her video, you know, they're being marginalized, they're being discriminated based on, you know, based on their disability. You know, it's not nice to hear it, but based on that, and even she herself has explained it, that she has faced it. You know, there are cases that she goes to job interview, they, you know, they will not say it, but they look at her in a weird way, or the fact that she has to over explain herself, that, you know, I'm just like you and I, but we could just work together, create a safe space. Imagine some of the cruel things that some people can do to you. They know you're deaf, so they just be cussing in your face. They're like, at the end of the day, you don't hear me. You know, that's really, really mean. But just the fact that you're not being included. Imagine if you see somebody like Mia or somebody who is deaf, you see them at an event, you're like, oh, this girl, she's deaf. I'm not even going to bother talking to her. I'm not going to bother talking to her anyway. It's not like she understands. Even the fact that she has highlighted of not being employed just because you're being deaf. Some companies don't even want to go through it. Even though there are some companies that are preaching it, they say, oh, we're inclusive. You know, we have this amount of disabled people working here. We have this amount of racial diversity. We have this amount of that. Just to appear good. But then when it comes to hiring you, they're like, and I'm not saying this is for all companies, but for some. Come on now. Yeah, so she said you have the ability to do the job and still you're not even good enough for them. So she has been using her voice to raise awareness, to speak, to be the voice for the people who are excluded. You see her going on her media tours. She goes to schools, she goes to communities, talk about this, educate people. Even the same with sign languages. I believe she had the one for sign languages and interpretation. Very, very clear on her initiative, what she speaks about at the radio station. So her media tour is very, very important. There are people that see themselves in her. And so her prime objective, which I knew, so she was, I believe that she raised funds for cochlear implants, for the, of course, for the people that could not afford it. Make sure that they have it, the same gift. She's privileged that she has it. She wants to share her privilege with other people to also help assist with the hearing. So this is problem solution. These are actually problem solving solutions. You know, hers is reduce global inequality, empower social inclusion, promote economic inclusion, ensure political inclusion, and eliminate discrimination. Yeah, so irrespective of your sex, disability, race, everything and all that. Yeah, her goal is ambitious. So her goal is very, very ambitious. She's not limiting herself to only the deaf, also the blind, and also the neuro related issues. So like I said many times, Mia has been consistent with her advocacy. This is something that she actually said on the show when I watched it. And especially for the cochlear implants, I think it's an extremely good idea, because this is a problem solver. These are solutions being offered to marginalized communities. Some people also want to have the same thing. It's not everybody that can afford it. And she wants to educate people, whether it's in businesses, whether it's in organizations, on tactics, on inclusivity. So yeah, that's it for South Africa. I think it's a very good cause. Please, please watch out for part 2. Let me know what you think about this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tell me what you think about the advocacies of these ladies. Watch out for part 2 and possibly 3 for more. Thank you.